Hey gang, I'm Melody.
And I'm Anthony. Thanks for joining us. In this show, Sony's given us some inside access to their latest gear. But we're not trying to make a sale here. We're trying to help you better get to know their products and hopefully make some informed shopping decisions.
Right, but first we're going to kick things off with a very common debate. The pocket camcorder versus the smartphone. Which one is better for taking photos and videos? Now, these days, we're getting a lot better stills and even HD video from our cell phones. So you might be wondering, why would you even want to buy a pocket camcorder?
Well, there are actually a few good reasons, especially if you're doing a ton of video blogging or taking lots of video of your family, your vacations, or whatever. Pocket camcorders are relatively inexpensive devices with dedicated hardware for shooting video and photos. So the interface and design is more camera specific because it's a camera, not a phone, right? And the video quality is generally better than you can get on a smartphone. Right now, smartphones generally record at 720p, but the landscape is quickly changing.
So let's get our hands on some of the most popular pocket camcorders that are out right now. Here we have the Kodak Play Touch and the Flip Slide HD, and of course, Anthony, will you do the honors? The Sony Bloggie Touch.
That's the sound that it makes when you open up this box.
Every time, too. Now, all three of them have, of course, a lot of similarities. All three have 3-inch touch screens. They're pretty similar in size and weight. And all of them have internal rechargeable lithium-ion batteries. And it's really nice because all three of them have onboard HDMI out.
Right. And of course, each one has its own set of features that some might prefer over the others. But here's what we like about the Bloggie Touch. First of all, it has a 12.8 megapixel still image. See, the Flip Slide HD doesn't have still photo capabilities, and the Kodak Play Touch only takes 5.3 megapixel photos. Also, the Bloggie is the only one that captures video and photos simultaneously. Secondly, with HD recording, the Flip only records at 720p. The Kodak and the Sony both record at 1080. The Bloggie is the only one that uses the entire 3-inch screen area when you're shooting video and photos.
Yeah, I was actually really surprised to see that when I was using the Flip HD. You know, you've got this big, beautiful 3-inch touchscreen, and yet you're only able to view the image of what you're shooting on that third of the screen, and the rest of it is used for nav on the touchscreen. Now, another thing that I like about the Bloggie is the really nice sophisticated design. It uses metal, which I much prefer over the plastic, and it has a capacitive touchscreen that uses glass over the Flip Slide, which has a resistive touchscreen. Yeah, and the Flip Slide has a kind of a cool design where it flips and slides.
Makes sense.
But then when you open it up, the only thing you can do with this is just navigate through your videos. You can't actually film with it or anything.
Kind of a bummer. Sony removed the card slot and added 8 gigs of internal memory in order to keep the Bloggie Touch small and sleek as compared to previous Bloggies. They also removed some of the things that previous Bloggie models had, like a mic jack.
And actually, the Play Touch, the Kodak one, does have the mic jack, but it's $30 more. And if you don't need the mic jack, then, you know, it's not really that necessary.
It seems kind of strange for me on a camera that's that small to have a mic jack, because your mic is most likely going to be bigger than your camera, which is kind of weird. It removes the pocketable part of it for me.
Yeah, a little bit. And actually, the Kodak Play Touch only has 128 megabytes of internal memory, so you also have to buy an external SD card for it. So you'll have a little bit of research that you need to do to decide what are the extra features worth to you.
Exactly. Now, the one drawback we should mention with all MP4 cameras is that they don't have external flashes, so it's very hard to record in low-light environments like nightclubs. And just to clarify some confusion out there about the Bloggie Touch working with the Mac, the device's hardware does work 100% with the Mac, but its companion software is for the PC only. Now, Sony expects to have a Mac version this year, but you can still play or edit the Bloggie's video files with any program for Mac that supports MP4, like iMovie.
Yeah, it's no problem. I was playing around the office with it. I was shooting a bunch of stuff, and I just popped in the USB, and I didn't even use the software that comes with it.
Yeah, personal preference.
Yeah. So last but not least, let's talk about price point for all three devices. The Kodak Play Touch goes for $229, while the Flip Slide HD retails for $249, making the Bloggie Touch at 8 gigabytes, $199, which is actually the least expensive one. And for 4 gigs, you can get it for $179.